We just gotta write some geektastic lyrics to this intro now for our next season. Next season we come in rapping.
What up?
What's up, boys?
Geektastic Cypher, FranklinArmstrong.com, Franklin Armstrong Collective.
Wait, is there a delay on Doc's side right now?
Again?
I'm wondering.
I was just playing the intro. You guys didn't hear it? It was fine.
Okay. No, it's fair. It's fair.
Okay, that's fine. But did you hear us talking just before you introed?
Yeah. You were saying that we're gonna start doing a rap.
Yeah, because I know exactly what Toby's talking about. It's like a little did he ignore us or?
No. I just to anyone who's watching, we're gonna write rap lyrics to the intro. There you go. I mean, I'm caught up.
Cool. That's fine. How are you guys?
No, we're not gonna. We're saying you were gonna write the lyrics for us to rap for the next season.
Who, Dave?
No, you, Doc.
I write lyrics. What are you talking about? Do I look like I've ever written rap lyrics? Actually, that's not true. I've written rap lyrics. But
okay. When was the last time you attempted to rap? Because I feel like a lot of kids, if you listen to hip hop, at some point you thought you could do it.
Oh yes, easily. We've all done it. Yeah, so, I'll play the intro right now and start freestyle. Oh, you know what? Which one I should try? Let's see. Hold on. Let's see if this one's still on there.
Oh my god, I remember the first rap I ever tried to write.
My first rap had
it's actually on YouTube, by the way.
Oh lord, okay, no. The first rap.
I want to know the link of this. I want to share this link.
But I'll never tell. Yo, actually, I've listened to it recently. It's not that bad. I made the beat and everything too back then. It was kind of like on the.
To figure out what the name was back then.
It was actually, yeah, exactly. It was actually on like the Wiz Khalifa sort of vibe back then. Remember when he first came out? He was all about like I'm flying high. You know, it was kind of like around that sort of plane. It wasn't too bad, man. I'm not tooting my own horn or anything, but
I rapped about Cheerios and filthy hoes. That's how you knew. That's how you knew. You knew you weren't a good rapper when you rhymed Cheerios with filthy hoes. You're like, nah, bro, that's not it, man.
I'm eating Cheerios next to my filthy hoes while we're playing Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, there you go.
I was like, it was like, okay, Brian doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Let's just stop this right now.
That's great. That is good. Yeah, you know what? I'll send it to you guys so you can listen. It's pretty funny.
Okay.
It was kind of like I was on my Hugh Hef with those lyrics. I think it starts out like at 7:00 in the morning. I got shorty I met last night in my bed sleeping on me.
Okay. You're like full on coming with it.
Yeah. No, it was good. I thought it was good, but I never. Obviously, I'm not a rapper, so it never went anywhere.
I respect that you're proud of it.
I am. It was fun. I remember. You know when you do something and you're like, "Wow, I can actually, if I wanted to," but it just never became a thing.
I'm definitely not proud enough of my skill set or what I did the first time to even consider, like, even if I found the lyrics, I would not rap them for you guys.
Are you playing an intro? Are you playing an intro of mine right now?
Yeah, I'm playing Suffocate. I made the joke that I was like, "Yo, let's freestyle over this right now," but then you guys kept talking, so I said, "Right."
Oh, okay. I was like, "Wait, that beat sounds familiar."
No freestyle over here.
Ooh, you gotta try.
You know what's funny about that, Dave, is if you somehow actually learn how to really rap really well, oh, bro, it would be you'd kill.
You know what the funny part is?
You're like, look at this punk comic
nerd, and then you start, bro, panties dropping everywhere. Like,
I think my favorite. Do you guys remember the Key and Peele sketch where they did the football? Every football member rapped.
Yeah.
And then at the end, there's that one white kid who, like, the others are like pretty bad rappers, and then the one white kid comes and just destroys everyone. And you're like, oh my god, it was pretty wild. It was so funny. That was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorites.
I remember. Yeah, it's true. It's like I think Eminem definitely started the whole phenomenon. Like, oh, white kids can do it too.
Yeah, because no one respected Vanilla Ice. No one respected Vanilla Ice when he did it. To be honest.
Fuck no.
Yeah, exactly.
No way. Not Vanilla Ice. Who else? Asher Roth. I remember when Asher Roth first came on the scene.
Yo, man, Asher Roth's actually a good rapper. Like I've seen him live. I've listened to his old stuff before he popped off, and then they signed him to that deal where he didn't even want that deal. They did that deal, and then they pretty much forced him to be like an Eminem, and he was just like, he even had a song on his first album talking about how he's not Eminem. Like, guys, I get it, and I respect the whole nod to, and you know, putting me in the class with Eminem, even that alone is a compliment. But I'm not Eminem. Like, just because I'm white, blonde, blue-eyed, please stop trying to compare me to only Eminem. Eminem himself wasn't even blonde.
He just wants to make songs like "I Love College" and just call it a day, you know?
Yo, dude, that was really his vibe. He just wanted to be like a backpack rapper, but he was a white baseball, like he was a baseball player, like a kid from Philly who almost went pro, and you're just like, oh, okay. And then you get forced to do this version of hip hop that you didn't even want to do.
Yeah, even there's always that stigma, right? Even as a black rapper, like there's always an image expected of you in some way, and you like, what if I just want to get like rap about rolling out of bed?
Yeah,
and like what that
Facts.
feels like, you know, like why do I have to sound or be like anyone? Why can't I just be myself, regardless of my color, and just talk about things I like to do?
I feel like
if I had known, I would have started about anime, comic books, and Marvel since I was like 15, you know?
Yeah. I feel like a lot of the times you are compared to either the person you sound like the most, look like the most, or the person who popped off the most in your city. Those are the three categories that I feel like if someone comes along, if you look like, you know, Gorilla Black looked like Biggie and sounded like Biggie, so everyone was just like, oh, Gorilla Black's the new Biggie. Shine sounded like Biggie, but didn't look like him. But they're just like, oh, Shine is the new Biggie, and like that's the thing. Every time you rap, like if you're from New York and you sound like Biggie, you're gonna be the next Biggie. If you're from L.A., because Gorilla Black was from Compton and he looked and sounded like Biggie, but the dude's from out west. He had a whole different vibe of hip hop growing up, but they still made videos that made him sound like Biggie, and I was like, okay, well, whatever.
Yeah. I think Rick Ross, his first "Every Day I'm Hustling," right, was kind of like it was also kind of promoted in that same manner too. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
And that's the other thing. Like, did you want to be Biggie? Like, I don't know that if I was a rapper, don't get me wrong, I love Biggie, but did I want to be compared to Biggie? Could I not come out?
I don't ever want to be compared to anyone.
Yeah, exactly, right? I mean, that's going to happen, though, no matter what you do. Even you as a producer, no matter how great you are as a producer, if you have any inkling that sounds
similarity to someone else's sound.
You're going to get
I've heard that a lot. I've heard that about a lot of my sounds. I've heard sounds like what's that guy? He used to produce for French Montana back in the day. Harry Fraud.
Okay.
You ever heard any Harry Fraud stuff?
I'm so bad when it comes to the producers. That was one of the things. I definitely should have always paid more attention, but
it makes a lot of sense because his sound I always identified with. It was very so my biggest issue with production today is the fact that is how everything sounds so overproduced. Yeah. Like songs are just so clean, too clean. Yeah. You know what I mean? I like that like vinyl, rough, in the distance, airy, spacey, moody sound to like tracks. And that's the kind of emotions you get from a Harry Fraud kind of beat.
But the funny thing is that's because you're also a kid who grew up in the 90s where it still wasn't that clean. And that like that sounded good to us. Like I remember when CDs came out and people were complaining about like, oh yeah, but you don't get the sound of vinyl. And it's just like, yeah, those pops and clips were not good. Like technically speaking, I know they sound great, but from a sound perspective, those pops and sounds are technically not good quality sound. It's not the cleanest sound you're getting.
But you know why? So at least when it comes to hip hop, I kind of prefer them being a little less clean because there's more emotion in the track. You want to know one of the song of Kendrick Lamar's that most people like the most today is Money Trees. Okay. And there's a reason why. The whole song there's not much going on. Yeah. It's a sample. They added some drums. Yeah. They added some bass. And now the rest of the song is just this untethered. He made it. There was so much emotion behind it. The production wasn't super like clean in terms of sound. It's really hard to explain. It really is a hard thing for me to explain unless I'm like sitting down in a studio with people and being like, listen to this. Listen to this. Now hear the difference, right? It's really hard to explain this.
That was funny though, like
especially on a
on a
audio
podcast.
format.
Yeah. No, but that's fair. I mean, when I was in school,
Yeah.
and I've told this story before, whenever I was in university, that first day of sound class, our professor had us walk up to him, and he said, "I'm going to show you the difference between mono and stereo." And he put his fingers in front of us. And snapped both fingers right in front of our face, and then he split his hands and then snapped both fingers on either side of our ear. And he said, "That's the difference."
Right.
And you know,
Yep.
I remember being in the room and thinking like, I'm not stupid. I know the difference between mono and stereo. But one of the things he taught me, and something that like very much the coaching tree approach that I've had ever since I took that class, is if I don't say it to someone, I don't know for a fact they know it. And I shouldn't take for granted that they do. Even if it feels like I'm talking down to someone, and I explain that to people sometimes when I used to work at the radio station. Some people would get so offended that in the training session, I would show them the symbol for play, pause, skip back. People would be like, "Yo, man, I've used I've used a player before. I know those symbols." I'm like, "Hey, man, I'm just saying it once. You know it, I know it, and I know for a fact I've said it to you. That way we can never argue that you didn't know." Because sometimes, and I think you guys have probably seen this too, old school DVD players and cassette players used to have the rewind symbol, but then there was a version of the rewind with a bar in front of it, which was the skip back one.
Skip, yeah.
But now not all devices had, it wasn't universal. Sometimes that skip button was you click this twice, or you get, like, it wasn't automatically a simple thing.
Yeah.
So some of those things I didn't feel bad explaining to people, because I was just like, I don't know for a fact that you know this.
Exactly.
Don't.
And you shouldn't.
Yeah.
But that's always important, because there could also be at times, I mean, not something so simple as that, but there could be at times also that when you talk to somebody, their interpretation of a word is not the same interpretation of the word to you.
Yeah.
Yes.
For example, like there's been times that, for example, when I've seen people talk from like a finance to like a sales group or whatever.
Yeah. Oh,
and there's been like arguments because they're let's say they're saying, "Oh, we're gonna close the fade." They're, instead of us saying like, "Okay, we're gonna test and run in parallel," they're like, "Okay, we're gonna set it up running." To us, when you say set it up running, it means there is no parallel. You're not testing something at the same time. You're going with whatever the solution is.
Yeah.
Because you have that discrepancy, because their term was no. When we said that, we meant that was the deployment of the parallel test. And we're like, yeah, but like, needless to say, that like once cost me like 3 meetings.
Oh, just because of this?
Like, during the meeting, I was like, wait a minute, what is your interpretation of this word? And they said it. I'm like, we are all in this meeting for no reason. I apologize for wasting people's time.
Yeah, man. That's
like one of those.
Sometimes that shit is just so annoying and so simple. It really just comes down to like, are we on the same page? And if you're not, it's just like, oh shit, let's just get on the same page. And
that's all it is.
And sometimes it's the most annoying part is some people are so scared to look stupid that they don't ask the question. And then everyone's just wasting time because this person didn't feel comfortable looking stupid. Dude, I will tell you right now, my mom told me when I was a kid, the smartest person in the room is the person that knows they don't know anything. And I always took that to heart. Like, if I have a question, I will just ask the question because I don't know. Yeah. So why am I going to look stupider down the road when we're all sitting there acting like we know what's going on?
Exactly.
I've trained people at my work, and my first like thing that I tell them, I'm like, some people say that they're stupid questions. I think that's a stupid statement. The only time is a question is stupid is if you've asked it like so many times and it's blatantly in front of you. Like if you're looking outside the window and it's a gorgeous day and you ask me 5 times in a row, is it a nice day outside? Then I'm thinking that's a stupid question. But like to repeat a question is not even bad, because if it's to reinforce your knowledge because you don't understand, it's important to ask.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
100%. There's no such thing as a stupid question unless Ruth told you like 10 times.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's the one time where it's like, okay. And that's one thing I'll tell people, if you're working with me, because I've had people tell me I'm mansplaining stuff because I'm explaining it. And again, and it was funny because one of my friends had to defend me to somebody because it came out and that Brian was mansplaining. And,
oh gosh!
And then
just hearing that,
and then my friend was just like,
I'm already like,
yeah. So my friend's just like, what exactly happened? And then the person explained the scenario, and then my friend asked me, and I was just like, yes, that's exactly how it happened. He's just like, oh, they felt like you were mansplaining. I was just like, mansplaining? I was like, that person had never been in a meeting with me, and I didn't know if they knew how the organization was run. So I was explaining the problems we had, and how we were moving forward.
Yeah.
How was that me mansplaining? I don't know if you know this information. And how do I question your knowledge on a 2-year organization structure in one sentence so that we can both... Do you know how this organization runs? Yes. Okay, I'll just take for granted that you who started here a year ago understand the 2 years of this organization. But I was the bad guy.
We're at that point in society where those kind of situations are happening more and more. It's the whole like, what's cultural appropriation? What is mansplaining?
Yeah.
What is, everyone now feels like something you do just because it might teeter on that is exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
Without really understanding your intention. Our intentions no longer matter.
Oh,
not
dude.
that they really did much before.
Yeah.
But there has to be some level of like humanity. Like, is this guy an asshole? No. Well, chances are he didn't mean like something horrible by trying to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that
I completely agree with that.
It's that automatic assumption that kind of sucked because I was just like, and also the fact that this person was going around talking to everybody saying that I was mansplaining. I was just like, but first, like we could have had a conversation. B, you could have just even asked me. You could, but instead you just went to everybody else and started saying that Brian was mansplaining, not because I was, but because you and I had never had a discussion prior to this moment about this thing, and I was explaining what I knew. And I was, That's how rumors get started, and then you get caught up, and then you hear it like 6 months later, and you're like, wait, people are saying what? I was happy.
Why?
I was happy that my buddy reached out to me as quickly as he did, though, because my buddy's he was just like, oh, just a heads up of what's going on behind your back. I was like, now that's a good friend.
It's such a it's defamation of character.
Yes. Because I didn't know what you knew. Anyways, I'm just typing out my few notes here because I forgot to write them all down. But Tobi, do you want to explain what the new segment is on the show?
The new segment. Let me grab it up right here too. Okay, so actually, I brought it up to you guys in one of our conversations.
Yeah.
Since we haven't done DTD in a while, I felt like maybe we should shake it up from the current damn did they?
Yeah.
We've been doing lately, and I thought about, we always talk about this in our conversations. Who would be a good person to play this character or this movie and stuff like that? So I figured we might as well have a new segment called. I said casting call, but I think you renamed it to CT's create the cast.
Yeah, is what Dave, not me, Dave. I think he was trying to keep it with.
I thought that's what we call. I didn't know what we called.
You're just trying to go with our current format.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I thought he did it. I was just like, oh, that's smart. I was like, I'm not mad at that.
DTD, we have damn did they, DDT, and now we have CTC. All right, well, create the cast in short is pretty much whenever we do the segment, it's about there's this movie that either was supposed to come out or did come out or should have come out or didn't come out or did come out in the past, and we get to pretty much pick our own cast for that movie. Now, for today, I'll read what I have here. So in December 2013, Sony announced 2 spin-offs of the Amazing Spider-Man franchise, the Sinister Six and Venom. And we all know how Venom went. He actually got Venom done. Yeah. But the Sinister Six never happened. Now, at the end of the Amazing Spider-Man 2, there was a little teaser of what that team format would be. And when we saw Rhino at the end fighting Spider-Man. And there's also, so what the team that makes up the Sinister Six is Rhino, Vulture, Doc Ock, Mysterio, and Kraven the Hunter.
Oh wait, Sandman's not in it?
So here's the thing.
Oh, sorry.
They were supposed to have Green Goblin serving as the leader.
Yeah.
And then I think Drew Goddard, the director at the time, was actually going to remove Green Goblin and include Sandman and Doc Ock as the leader.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with that version. Take Green Goblin out and include Sandman and Doc Ock.
Okay, so
we're saying Vulture, Octopus, Mysterio, Kraven, Sandman, and Rhino.
Oh, wait, Mysterio. And who's the last one?
So we have Rhino, Vulture, Doc Ock, Mysterio, Kraven the Hunter.
Oh, Kraven, that's who I'm missing. Okay.
Sandman and Doc Ock. I already said Doc Ock, sorry. And Sandman was the last one. Now this was kind of hard for me to figure out because there's so many great performances already in a couple of those roles. And I really thought really hard about do I want to replace.
I'm keeping one of them. I'm keeping. Yeah. I'm keeping two of them actually.
I'm keeping two or three.
Okay.
So I'll tell you. I'll run down my list, and I'll tell you who I'm keeping first. And obviously, I think we might be keeping the same people because of how you cannot replace those iconic roles. And eventually, if they do recast Doc Ock, they will replace him. But I'm keeping Alfred Molina as my.
Oh, are you? Okay, that's one of the ones I replaced. Okay, that's fair.
I loved him in that role, dude. It was almost perfect.
Don't get me wrong. I 100% love him in the role. It's just that because he's not part of the current universe and he's, aged up a bit. Not to be an asshole, but he's aged up a bit, and I want.
But
yeah.
Doc Ock's age was always ambiguous.
True. Yeah. Sorry. No, I'm not gonna interrupt. Give your list first. Go ahead. My bad.
Okay. All right. For my Vulture, I'm actually keeping Michael Keaton.
Yeah, that's fair.
I liked him a lot.
Yes.
It was so unexpected, and I'm like, oh, that's how the Vulture should be played.
Yeah.
Just someone who is a family man, living in society, right? Just his entryway into the dark side is something of a mystery to those around him, and then the way things get revealed, it was just perfectly played.
Yeah.
I guess I am keeping three.
So wait, quick rewind. Is this set in the MCU still?
This is set. That's
the only thing I'm asking.
Is Sony versus the MCU? I guess it is now.
It's a crossover so far.
So I want to keep the crossover feel, but not necessarily in the MCU.
Okay, so I shouldn't use actors I know. Oh, we just lost Dave, unfortunately. Hopefully he'll jump back in. But I shouldn't use actors I know are in other MCU properties then.
See, that's the thing. That's okay.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Because in our world, they could be someone else.
Okay.
Unless you really feel they're iconic. Like, I didn't touch the MCU at all because I like them all in their roles.
One of the people that I want to put for a role, I haven't seen him in that role yet because the movie got pushed back.
Well, there you go. So then you can still put him in this role.
Yeah. So I have my list then. And then
so Vulture, Michael Keaton, Doc Ock, Alfred Molina, and Mysterio, Jake Gyllenhaal. I'm sorry, I cannot. I love this interpretation too much. The only other person I would have put is Hugh Dancy, because I think he would have done a good job in the role. Hugh Dancy was Will Graham in Hannibal.
You want to put him as who?
Actor. Huh?
You want to put him as which character?
Mysterio.
Oh,
I think he would have done a great job as Mysterio.
Very good casting, sir. That is good. Yes. Yeah. That is really good casting.
I like him a lot. I think he could have played that like sociopathic sort of role that Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah.
Okay, I see that.
Sandman was a bit of a hard one for me, but I ended up going with either Ben Foster or Gerard Butler, depending on what kind of Sandman you want to play in this movie.
Yeah.
You can have the on the run criminal. I think Ben Foster replaced that pretty well. Or you can have the tough guy who's been in jail criminal, and Gerard Butler plays that pretty well as well.
Yeah.
Ben Foster's would have been more losing his mind, kind of how Spider-Man 3 Sandman kind of was.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not, what's going on, and I'm not sure what's happening, but I'm what's up, Dave? Can you hear us?
What? Yeah, no, I wanted to make sure that you guys could hear me.
Yeah,
you're good.
Yeah, sorry, because I was having technical difficulties.
No worries.
Sorry.
Okay, so far, Vulture, Michael Keaton, Doc Ock, Alfred Molina, Mysterio, Jake Gyllenhaal, or Hugh Dancy. Sandman, Ben Foster, or Gerard Butler. Rhino.
Yeah.
I think Leo could do Rhino.
Wait, let him finish his list.
Sorry, not Rhino. I missed one.
Don't worry, you'll do yours right after.
Yeah.
So for Rhino, I went with someone who's already sort of in the MCU, but not because it's on Netflix. I'm going, either Vincent D'Onofrio.
Oh, interesting.
Or Vince Vaughn.
Oh.
Now, if you've seen the movie Brawl in Cell Block 99, that's the Vince Vaughn I want for this role. Go take a look at it. Honestly, Vince Vaughn looks exactly like Vincent D'Onofrio playing Kingpin in this role that I'm talking about. Brawl in Cell Block 99 is a really good movie, by the way, that came out in TIFF a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Everyone listening right now should go watch that. Put it on your list for quarantine. And for Kraven the Hunter, I had a hard time sticking to one guy. So I hope I'm not crossing the line on anyone you guys already picked. I'm going to go with Khal Drogo himself, Jason Momoa.
Yeah, I had that.
Savage Kraven.
Same. So, yeah, that's. I feel like that's a really good one.
Yeah, but like I felt like that was an easy one too, so I went with either Viggo Mortensen,
Oh, interesting.
Mads Mikkelsen,
Oh, double interesting.
or Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Oh, shit.
Now, Jeffrey Dean has played Negan, the comedian. I see Craven in both.
I see Jeffrey Dean though playing like the what, because he plays very like city slicker style villains. I don't see him playing a jungle kind, but
That's why he's last on my list.
Okay,
I can see him doing it, but in terms of like casting order, if I had to like reach out to people, this is my order.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So and obviously Viggo Mortensen, History of Violence, Eastern Promises, he's capable.
Yeah.
Mads Mikkelsen, Hannibal, Polar, even the character he played in Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
He's capable. And then just as a star on the side, I actually still left because we want to have some side characters. So I left Donald Glover's Prowler in and Bokeem Woodbine's Shocker in as like supporting roles. and you might have an end credit scene with Green Goblin showing up, and it would be Christoph Waltz.
Oh, you have wait, you have Christoph Waltz as who?
Green Goblin.
Oh shit. I have Christoph Waltz as Doc Ock.
Okay, so then you go next.
Okay. So I have Michael Keaton Vulture. I wanted to keep Paul Giamatti as Rhino because I liked what he did with it.
It was interesting.
Yeah, it was a little over the top, but I actually really found it interesting, the approach he was taking with it. I was just like, you know what, this isn't too bad. Then I had did I say so I had Michael Keaton as Vulture, Christopher Waltz as Doc Ock, Paul Giamatti as Rhino, Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio, Jason Momoa as Kraven. And then I was tied between Matt Dillon as Sandman.
Oh, Matt Dillon. That's out of left field.
Matt Dillon playing a gaunt Sandman too. Not like the buff Sandman we're used to, but like a kind of gaunt Sandman where he like is barely able to keep it together and pieces of his face fall off sometimes. Like we're talking like Matt Dillon losing weight to play this role. But also, you know, at times when he wants to bulk up, like pulling it in and like building out and filling out.
No, I see it.
Yeah,
100% see it.
And then David Arbor. David Arbor was the other person that I was thinking of for Sandman. But he's playing.
But he's in too many things lately.
Yeah, exactly. And he's also playing like the bulk Sandman from the get go. Like he kind of like and that's why I like Matt Dillon a little bit better for the Sandman I have in mind, because I'm picturing like a really desperate Sandman who's like, whatever it is that happened to him, the sand is not as consistent as it used to be. He's having trouble. He's always trying to work at keeping it together.
That's how I saw Ben Foster, and that's also why I picked Gerard as the other possible.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Yeah, so that's funny that you saw the same thing. Too.
Yeah, in my scenario, Christopher Waltz, Doc Ock has made a deal with him that he's going to help him as long as he does.
Such a good Doc Ock.
Yeah,
dude.
Man, Christopher Waltz is Doc Ock with like the accent and the kind of like, I think he'd be dope. And that's the thing, Michael Keaton did such a good job as Vulture. There's no reason to replace him. Like he did a really good job. Paul Giamatti's Rhino.
I thought about keeping him, but I felt he was tad too goofy for the dark universe I want.
Yeah, so if I'm doing this darker version where Matt Dillon's relying on Waltz, Doc Ock, and Michael Keaton has done a good enough job as Vulture that you can see the dark side, then for my Rhino, I'm thinking of just a musclehead. So,
dude, that's why watch Vince Vaughn in Cell Block 99.
Okay. Yeah, but I was thinking younger. Like I was thinking like Alan Hawk from whatchamacallit.
Oh.
But like I don't want him. Bad. I want an actor that looks like him. Like, you know when they have the casting sheet and it says like, oh, what was it that they wanted for Jessica Drew for Spider-Girl? They were saying like we want. Oh no, She-Hulk. Remember the joke was they were saying we want an Allison Brie type, but they didn't call Allison Brie.
You want an Alan Richardson type.
Yeah, I want an Alan Richardson type, but I don't want you, Alan. Like I don't want you to. Like I'm like on the sheet it says Alan need not apply.
that is great. Yeah. That is great.
I think that would be fun.
That. I like the casting a lot. Man, Christoph Waltz. Because I liked Alfred Molina, I didn't even think about putting Chris because I know he can play Green Goblin. I've seen that maniacal side to him.
Yeah.
But wow, they really need to cast him as Doc. That's like
I think you
out
do
of
dope.
Everything you listed, I'm like, I want to see that.
Yeah,
that's pretty dope.
I think you do a good job.
Because Craven could be easily here's why Khal Drogo.
Yeah.
For me, I didn't feel like, although he's my top choice, I'm okay with losing him.
Yeah.
Because it's an easy
Yes.
It's an easy casting.
Yeah, yeah.
I want someone who's going to bring another side to Craven, and that's where Mads and Vigo come in.
That's true. That's true.
Right?
I know they had done some Craven the Hunter casting, Craven Hunter theory. I'm gonna look it up, but
yeah.
But Dave, you want to go?
Yeah, I'm sure anyone we mentioned now has come up because these sound so super logical.
Yeah.
we've watched way too many things.
Dude, this is wild. The list that they have on CBR has a list, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan's on that list. He's number 3.
As who?
For Craven. The top 10.
As Craven?
Yeah. It's just a list that they made, but the top 10.
Not Jason Momoa on their list.
Jason Momoa, I think, is probably number 1. Yeah,
oh, okay.
I think he.
Yeah, because the thing is, you got to think about like someone who doesn't care. And Negan in my head, and I just saw his face.
Dude, you know who they put for number 2? Mustafa Shakir, the homie who played the bad guy in season 2 of Luke Cage. The great eye Jamaican dude.
Yeah. I mean, because Craven, fuck, what are we casting all these white people in Craven for?
Facts.
It could literally be.
Yo, that's true. You know what it is? Yeah. You know what it is though? It's because we see it from like we watch the cartoon and he's always
Spider-Man comic. Yeah, the cartoon.
So sometimes it's hard to think outside that box of it, but it's true, man. Mustafa, like,
that is great.
I didn't think black for that character at all. Yeah, though that's true. Yeah. Mustafa would be pretty dope. Anyway, sorry, Dave. It's supposed to be your turn, man.
Dave, you didn't go yet. You can change your answer for Craven.
No, it's okay. It's funny because some of the names were picks that I had.
Did you have any side cast or anything like that before Dave goes?
Oh, no. I was gonna keep the rest. Like you said, Prowler is pretty good. It'd be cool to see him come back. Morbius maybe at the end pops up. Jared Leto.
Ooh.
And then I think that was it. I didn't really have. Oh, and Hardy shows up as Venom.
You know who else I just remember was such a brief appearance, but when Vulture went to prison, Scorpion was in it.
Oh yeah, true. Canadian actor too, which is pretty dope.
So I don't know, maybe keep that too. But anyway, go ahead, Dave.
No, for me, for Vulture it was either going to be Keaton or I was actually going to choose Mad Nicholson for Vulture. Actually,
I
thought that he would easily pull that off. You guys said the same things for me for Octopus. Either you keep Alfred or Walt. Like I was thinking that. Like I was like, it's funny how great minds think alike. For me, for Mysterio, I would have replaced Gyllenhaal. Although he did a great job. If I got him, he's still great. But I don't know. I think Chris Evans could pull that off. I don't know why. I feel like
Mysterio.
Yeah, but doing like a real
Mysterio?
like more like the actor, like the stunt guy who did everything and then ended up being Mysterio, like not the same Mysterio that we got. Because Mysterio, the original Mysterio, is like that guy who did the special effects and everything and was in the movies and then turned bad, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like that. I think Chris Evans could have done something good with that.
Okay.
For Sandman, I was actually thinking Thomas Jane would be able to do a good Sandman.
Wasn't he Sandman?
He was. Was he?
No, I know he was Punisher.
He was Punisher, yeah.
He reminds me of the guy who played Sandman.
The dude who played.
It wasn't him.
The dude who played Sandman is. I'll look up his name, but I know that actor. He had a whole bunch of TV shows back in the day. He had one with Deborah Messing. I'll look it up though.
Okay.
We keep going.
Thomas Jane, eh?
I was gonna choose Jeff Dean Morgan for Rhino. I think he'd be able to have done a Rhino.
Okay.
Interesting.
And made it layered. Craven, initially I was thinking more Leo, but then when you guys mentioned all your choices, like, those are much better choices.
Wait,
so,
Leo?
Why Leo?
Leo who? Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yeah, the only Leo.
I envisioned what was that recent movie that he did and he was all in the wild and shit?
Revenant?
I can't remember the name.
The Revenant?
Is that?
The Revenant.
Yeah, the one where he's fights bear.
I didn't see the movie, but I saw snips of it and whatnot. For some weird reason, like I think it's his jawline and stuff and how he has his beard. It really reminds me of like the classic Raven pictures that I saw. But like you guys make the more logical, like what would it be today? Kind of like how they adjusted like things for like the Justice League and
stuff. What's crazy about the casting from each one of our thing is that like for me, I was looking more for less for physical, except for Khal Drogo, obviously. and more for like what they can bring to the role to add another layer over that character, or underneath that character. With Leo, I don't necessarily see it, but because he's such a good actor, I can't discount it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That's the thing.
I can't say he's incapable of embodying Kraven.
Yeah,
I think.
But the physicality, that's my concern.
Yeah, that's true.
Like you need a guy.
Kraven needs to be brooding and imposing.
Yeah, and for me, I feel like you need a guy who can do the whole like crouched in a tree like Black Panther, but a white dude. Even though, like we said, we could cast a black dude now that we think about it. So it's like, why would? I guess with a name like Kraven is the only reason that you might think white dude. But I mean,
but like, it could work either way. To be honest.
Mind you, you know what? I'm okay with keeping Kraven as a white dude because I don't want to make the only black villain on the team the Jungle Boy who runs around hunting with this. All these other guys have weapons and this guy has a spear. It's like, nah, homie, I'm good. Give me a gun.
That's so true.
And I would have
Thomas Hayden Church is the name of the.
Michael B. Jordan as either Prowler or Shocker. One of those.
Oh, you want to replace? Okay.
He wants to bring back what's his name?
The Killmonger.
Yeah, Killmonger.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, that was.
Who's your Rhino again?
My Rhino was going to be Jeff Dean Morgan. He's versatile, and I felt more like Rhino is always like kind of like one of those street little brutish people, and like between the losers and Negan, he has that instinctively there. Like he gets his way because of his presence, you know.
Okay, so based on who we said, I said Vince Vaughn or Vincent D'Onofrio. You said, I keep forgetting his name every time.
Jeff Dean Morgan.
Jeff Dean Morgan. You said maybe Paul Giamatti. And
Paul Giamatti is the one I would keep. But if I really, really want to recast, I want an Alan Richman looking guy.
Richmond type. Okay.
I type.
Out of the three of our choices, which one do you think is more feasible?
My guy's the cheapest because he's gonna be a no-name. My guy's gonna be a no-name. He's not gonna cost anybody anything. My guy's a waiter right now, and he's looking for his first role, homie. I'm good.
We'll give it to your guy because Disney would love to give him $100,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Sony would give him $100,000 for the first movie, like they did with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Okay, Vulture, Michael Keaton, that's fine.
Yeah.
Doc Ock, honestly, I'm giving it to Christoph Waltz. That supersedes my Alfred Molina.
I really think he could do a good job with it.
Mysterio between Jake Gyllenhaal and Hugh Dancy. Very flippable, but I really like Jake.
I mean, Jake did a really good job
more than I
with
expected.
It. Yeah. Like
I really wish he was a good guy at the end.
When we watched the movie, didn't we all say that was probably one of the best translations of a character to screen? Yeah. Like that adaptation.
If you're gonna do him differently, you did him. You got to do him, and this was done to perfection.
Yes.
I had zero qualms with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so for our Kraven, we have Khal Drogo, who seems to be. We have two of us who have him, but then there's Vigo, Mads, and Jay.
But I'd say Drago probably would take it easily.
Jason Momoa.
Drago, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jason Momoa wins that. Sandman, Ben Foster, Gerard Butler.
Matt Dillon, baby, I'm telling you, give me a gaunt Matt Dillon
I like it.
Who's constantly fighting to keep his form. I'm giving you a good role. I'm telling you, he can do it.
I like it. I
so think Thomas Jane would do a good job of it.
Thomas Jane,
but Thomas Jane who played Punisher, right? That's who I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
I like that guy, but I don't see him as like. But that's the thing. Paint the picture for me of the type of Sandman you want, because like for me, I'm painting the picture of hey, what's up, Skinny? I'm painting the picture of the Matt Dillon Sandman. Yeah. Like I'm explaining, he's a gaunt guy. He's lost weight. He can't control the sand. He's constantly fighting to keep himself together. He's in the streets. He finds Doc Ock, Christopher Waltz. Waltz works out a deal with him. I'm gonna send you on missions and I'll fix you up. But this is the temporary solution is this drug. I will find a permanent one if you keep working for me. But in your case,
last vision or the last image I've had of Thomas Jane was from the Predator movie. And
oh yeah,
do you guys remember that?
Predator.
Yeah, that's how forgettable it was. But but his role
just beating on the Predator movie. That's fine.
his role in the Predator movie was like this like crazy guy. You remember that?
Yeah,
he was
yeah,
like
yeah.
this crazy who kind of talked to himself.
Oh yeah, I didn't even see that movie.
Yeah, he was also gaunt in that though. Like he was. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So maybe.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
possible.
If you're gonna still do my version, Thomas Jane maybe could do it. And you're right. The guy who keeps because was it that he was kind of crazy? Why was he crazy though?
I think he like has PTSD.
Yeah,
something.
okay.
Some kind of war hero dude.
Yeah.
A veteran, I should say. I guess we're kind of moving away from the supersized Sandman. So forget the Gerard Butler and whoever else we cast in that role.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that pretty much does it.
That's everyone. Yeah, pretty much.
Everyone.
Sorry, Skinny. I mean, actually, you said you were gonna sit out, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's all good. I've been dealing with other things. It's all good.
Okay. All
right.
Yeah, that was a
basement and creepy other things. So don't worry.
Oh no. Okay. That was a fun segment, man. I gotta say, create the cast. We definitely got to revisit this because that was, yeah. That was cool. That was a great conversation. Yeah, I think combined we have a pretty solid casting idea.
Yeah. We can give this to the casting director and
yeah,
have
we
work
could.
some magic.
I think we could
go to work.
Yeah. Also, like it's like we've cast this for you with this in mind. So get someone to write this movie and cast these people, and then you're good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You get people would see that movie for sure.
Oh, dude, I would see.
Waltz as Doc Ock still has me shook, bro.
I'm telling you, in a second.
Has me shook.
That's so good.
I'm telling you,
so good.
It really is. That was a really key one.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
I'm thinking. Also, Thomas Jane is in The Expanse. That's where I've watched him last.
He's also hung. Like I have my a hard time letting go of certain roles with certain actors sometimes. Like his Punisher was trash. I didn't like his
Punisher was one of their better stories, but not.
Yeah, but I like the Punisher from Warzone better. But the story was trash in Warzone.
Let's be real here.
Wait, hold on.
That version of Punisher. That version.
He's not saying the movie though. You're saying you like
not the movie. The movie is
I know
trash.
what you mean. I see what you mean.
But the first Punisher, the story was better, but I didn't really like the actor. Now I like the actor and how he portrayed Punisher in Warzone. Obviously, we're not including Netflix Punisher because he's a
that's like that's like when you go to the dollar store and you can get Twix or you can get the fake one. Like Barenthal, Netflix Punisher is the like true blue Twix, like classic full bar, and then
100%.
All the other ones are the dollar store brand that we're like, I wouldn't feed this to my dog.
He probably paid the least considering he was doing a TV show.
Exactly,
dude. He set the dude. He set the bar so high for what Punisher could be in the future that I don't see how Marvel, if they recast, sure, but like, who are you gonna get to do as?
You can't recast.
They won't.
It's like recasting Daredevil.
Yeah,
they won't.
You shouldn't do that either.
That's why they gotta hire them back. They're like, we're gonna continue making these things. Can come back home.
Like, I'm okay with Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, all those other ones being recast. I'm sorry, but
I love Luke.
I know you do. I see the poster behind you, Doc.
I'm trying to
point. I just think I would have preferred more like fight training from Luke Cage.
But Luke Cage as a character doesn't fight. He's just muscle and he's impenetrable. Dude, why? Think of it this way. I'll say it only to you this way. If I can't be hurt by essentially anything, why am I training? You can't break my skin. It doesn't hurt when you punch me. It doesn't hurt when you shoot me. I just walk up to you. I take the gun. I bend the gun. I punch you in the face.
How does he stay in shape?
He works
I
out.
agree.
He doesn't.
I agree with you.
At what point did you see him work out once?
Body doesn't naturally.
I agree. No, I do agree with that, though. I do agree with the whole same thing with Superman. People are just like, if Superman's DNA is such that the sun gives him the energy and he doesn't actually have to do anything and he essentially never breaks a sweat, how is Superman as fit as he is? He should technically be a blob who just doesn't feel...
Or he should just be a skinny, gaunt guy who's super powerful.
Yeah. And that's
why I was okay with Christopher, whatever his name's portrayal, or Brandon Routh.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to be super ultra jacked. There's no reason for Superman to be jacked.
That's fair. Yeah.
Brandon Routh still kind of sucked.
Which one, sorry?
Oh, bro.
Which one sucked?
I don't know about that. He said Brandon Routh sucked as Superman.
Superman Returns, 2006?
was a shit show.
I liked it, man.
I liked it.
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't
I
like
still
about
own
the
it.
only thing I liked about that was I don't like it anymore because he's.
But
I
you
don't
know what,
he's done,
Dave?
but Kevin Spacey, I like his Lex Luthor.
Dave, I'm
Dude,
not
you
even.
watch Gotham. You can't say anything. You watch Gotham willingly.
You
Can't.
watch Gotham. You can't say that's cold. Look at Dave's
I like
face.
curiosity. No.
That's
No,
funny.
you know what though, Dave? I'm not gonna. You're not wrong. You're in the
No, you're not
majority. I know a lot of people who did not like that movie. I have friends who've walked out of the theater during that movie. They were just like, "This is so stupid. This is not the Superman that I grew up loving." And I was just like,
He didn't
"Wow."
punch anybody in that movie.
Say what?
No, he didn't punch anybody in that movie.
Really, eh?
Oh shit.
There was no bad
Not
guy
one.
in that movie.
What do
The
you mean?
best part
Not
of it
one
was
punch.
Kumar.
Oh yeah, he was pretty funny.
Oh, I
What's his
gotta
name?
watch. I
Cal
gotta
Penn.
rewatch this.
Cal Penn's funny, but
Dave,
there are bad guys. Lex Luthor's in it. What do you mean? There's no bad guys in the movie?
There's no physical bad guy. Which
Oh, got you. Yeah.
I mean, you went through like 5 movies. The only physical bad guy he had where it was Zod from the original,
Yeah.
which was like because it was the original, and then there was that clone version of himself that had the voice of fucking Lex Luthor for some dumb reason. Because it's not a dumb reason. It's that the actor was so bad that who's the original Lex Luthor? I'm losing his
Gene
name.
Hackman.
Yeah, he dubbed over the guy's voice because the guy was such a bad actor. Dude, I think that's in number 3. It is immensely bad.
Oh, okay.
What was that say?
Sorry. I thought Skinny was saying something. Yeah, I mean, because what Superman Returns is supposed to take place between the second and third, right? That's the joke. It's like it's not actually a. It's like 1, 2, Superman Returns, and then 3.
Yeah.
Which is.
Yeah.
But I also didn't. The reason why I really didn't like that movie is that it shouldn't have been a Returns. It should have just been Superman, but you don't have to tell the origin story because everyone knows Superman.
But it was because they're trying to keep it in line with that original trilogy. Or
That's why it looks so similar.
Yeah. The whole idea was
honestly to its detriment, unfortunately.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. Because that's why some people didn't like
Sorry, go
Homeboy Spacey's depiction because they felt like he was doing his impression of Hackman doing Lex Luthor, and people didn't like that. But I mean, if that's the role he was cast in, it's just like, hey, you're supposed to be this exact person. Well, what am I supposed to do? Like, I'm not going to act differently. It wouldn't make sense.
But without that, they wouldn't have known to go in a different direction with the Dark Knight.
True.
And the Batman.
Because they stuck to he was still about property. It wasn't like a different. It's like how Star Wars Awakens, Force Awakens still had the Death Star.
Killer?
You were still just doing things for money for land. It was stupid.
But then when they strayed and they did something else in the Last Jedi. Oh, actually, not the Last Jedi. What was the last one that came out?
Oh shit! What's the name of the last one?
the
Last
Jedi was the second one. Force Awakens is the first one. Rise of the Skywalker. There you go.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Was it Last Jedi?
It's bad that we forgot that
Last
already.
Jedi did something different.
Last Jedi threw everything out the window.
Right.
Yes.
And
then
feel
people
like
got
when
mad.
that happened, a lot of people didn't like that
Yeah,
as well.
exactly. Everyone got mad, and then they were just like, Then the director had to leave, and they're like, okay, we're gonna bring in a new guy, and then because it's JJ. Then I don't remember who did the second one, and then he wasn't even
Ryan Johnson.
Okay. And then the third one was supposed to be the dude who did Fantastic Four or something. Trent something.
Josh Trank. Yeah.
Trank. Yeah, that's it. Josh Trank. Yeah, and then. Yeah, that man,
Yeah.
that whole thing's a mess. Every time Disney gets
is.
people, Ron Howard had to take over and fix up Solo, and so many weird decisions made over Star Wars. But the movies are still making tons of money, and they were somewhat interesting. So I guess they figured their shit out. But
somewhat.
Yeah,
somewhat.
View the Right Thing.
That's because they rushed it too much, though.
Yeah,
they did it too fast.
We're going into View the Right Thing segment. I know Dave wants to possibly put in earplugs and mute because he did not get to see the movie that Toby wants to talk about.
I won't spoil too much. I just wanted to kind of touch on the fact that this is probably the best movie Netflix, and this might be an unpopular opinion, but this is the best overall action everything movie Netflix has put out in a very long
You
time.
talking about Expanse or whatever?
No,
No,
Extraction.
Extraction.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll watch it later. Go on.
From beginning to end, it gripped you. It was like it didn't let go. The action, the acting. You didn't really need much acting from Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
But he played that tortured war veteran who's lost something. You can tell because he keeps having flashback to a child. So you can tell there's some kind of like PTSD there, or like did he cause the loss of his child, or did something happen that caused him and his wife to divorce that is tortured over, and you get to kind of slowly learn about that. I'm not going to tell you what it was because it's fine because Dave is listening and Dave doesn't want me to say it anymore. But the action, the camera angles, you can tell the Russo brothers directed this.
Well, they didn't direct it though. They wrote it and they produced it.
They wrote it.
Yeah,
Sorry, you can tell they had their hand in using their own people to tell the story.
Yeah.
Because the stunt camera work in this was impeccable. It was like you were there.
There's one fight where he kicks Homeboy and Homeboy hits, like, there's a hole in the wall and Homeboy hits the brick on the top, knocks back, falls, and hits his back on the exposed brick on the bottom. And I was like, good God.
It was a brutal. Now, mind you,
so good.
Everyone here who's like important to the story is somewhat Teflon for a little while.
Yeah.
They're like, they get hurt very seriously and they survive longer than a normal person should.
Yeah, man.
But it's okay because it works with the story. And the hero is not the only one who has. So there's another. So it starts with Chris Hemsworth's character. He gets a contract.
Yeah.
You get to meet this kid at the beginning who gets kidnapped. He's the son of a drug lord. The drug lord's in jail. The drug lord tells his right-hand guy, like, hey, get my son back. Otherwise, I kill your family. So his right-hand guy is trying to get his son back for him.
Yeah.
And to do that, he needs someone who can go into enemy territory, extract the kid, and come out alive.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like this other drug lord on the other side is practically Pablo Escobar. Like, he runs a whole state.
Yeah,
the military, the police,
everything, man. And I think my favorite was when the colonel comes up to him and he's just like, this happened. He's just like, okay, lock down the whole city. He's just like, we can't. He's just like, well, you better figure out how to do it. And that's it. That's all he had to say.
You're like, oh, snap.
He doesn't even. Oh no, he does threaten him. He's just like, you better figure out how to do it, or you will lose more than just fingers.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like,
that's the way he punishes people who fuck up, is that he literally cuts a finger. Every time you fuck up, I want a finger.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, dude.
And he doesn't cut it. He makes you cut your own finger.
He makes and to also emphasize what's at stake and how evil this guy is.
Oh my God.
There's a scene where
I know what you're about to say.
A kid stole from him, like, he has kids working for him, obviously. And some money goes missing, and he has a bunch of kids round up on a rooftop, and they're being questioned. And I guess by the time we come into it, the guy questioning the kids has had enough, grabs one of them, and just throws a kid over the roof.
Skinny,
like,
just throws the kid. Not even like a I'm going to. Not even like the threat.
No. It's exactly like I know. I kind of it's like Top Boy season 1. Where where he just tosses the kid off the balcony?
Yes.
That's the kind of, all right.
Like that's like it's like you're coming in, you're like, you have to accept that this is the world.
Yeah.
There's no pandering to the audience here.
Deal with it. You're going to see. Yo, can I spoil one scene, Tobi?
Of course.
There's one scene where there's one scene where Hemsworth is fighting like a group of the street kids and uses one of the street kids to hit another.
Yeah, so these kids, he's on the run with he went in to rescue the drug lord's son, right, from whoever was holding him, and he's like running through the streets. So now this whole town, this whole state, is after him and this kid. He's constantly on the run. There's no moment to stop.
Yeah.
Not only is he running from grown adults, he's running from kids that work for this drug lord. So he has to fight kids at one point, and it's the funniest. Dude, I'm like, oh my God, he's actually beating up kids. I'm so happy that that's why it was so good.
Yeah.
Because it was realistic.
Yeah, man.
Like, what is he gonna do? Just not fight them? They have guns. They have weapons.
When you have to thump a child in the chest and knock him down, I was like,
God.
dude, I was laughing so hard at that scene. I was just like,
yeah. They thought this whole movie out so well, and I feel like it was a nice mix of like Bollywood actors, maybe, and
yeah, for sure,
and Hollywood, and a little bit. It was just very well done.
The story was a little,
yeah. Go ahead.
I was gonna say the story's a little like generic, but
yeah,
it was so fun. Yeah,
but that's why I was surprised that it was so good, because with the fact that the story is generic, they put their emphasis on sort of the action and really making you feel the stakes. And that's where this movie worked. Is like, I felt so much with that stake. You felt like right away, you're like, oh, he's not gonna make it. Or is he?
Yeah.
Like, is the kid gonna make? Like the whole movie, you're quite constantly questioning because of how much injury happens to him as a character. Then the right hand man. So is that a plot twist I should give away?
Oh, don't. Yeah. If you're gonna say what I'm thinking,
maybe get up again.
Yeah. Maybe mute.
I don't want
maybe mute Dave. Maybe walk away, Dave.
Let's just say the right hand man ain't nothing to mess with.
Yo, homeboys. Fuck.
Yeah.
You know what? At one point, I started seeing post, or before I watched this movie, people saying like, yo, Tyler Rake versus John Wick, who's gonna win? And then I watched the movie and I was just like, Wick? I was like, okay. I was like, I don't know why you guys are even asking the question. But then I saw Saju and I was just oh, maybe John Wick could have some trouble with Saju though, because Saju takes some punishment and keeps going. Like,
dude got hit by a truck. Still got up.
Get up and got up. I was like, yo. I turned to my partner when he did it, and I was just like, what the fuck are we watching? I was like, you're telling me this man got hit by a truck into the back of a like another, the dump trucks with the metal? Like, he got knocked into what looked like a metal truck and still gets up. And I was like, nah, man, this
but it's kind of to emphasize the sheer will and what you're willing to go through to like, this kid, he was innocent in all of this.
Yeah.
You kind of feel bad for him throughout the whole process. But what I liked also is that he wasn't a dumb kid.
Yes.
You know how many times in movies where someone's rescuing a kid and they're telling them go or do this, and the kid's like, what? I don't know. But this kid was like, he listened. He was like, go there, follow me, stay low. And the kid was actually following direction. He had his moments of being a kid. But it wasn't like that over-exaggerated feeling of like, and you're sitting there as a viewer frustrated, like, just go.
Yeah.
There wasn't very much of that.
Like when he tells the kid slide over, and he's just like, on the count of 3 we jump, and the kid's just like, what? And then he just does it, and the kid just
throws him.
He just throws the kid out of a moving truck, and the kid's like, and the kid doesn't even flinch. I mean, he does, but it's more just like he trusted him enough to just, okay, I guess we're doing this now.
He understood what was at stake. Straight up. Overall, honestly, excellent. I haven't seen an action movie this thrilling in a while. It was very, very good. And for a Netflix movie, this could have been a theatrical release, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, so here's my thing. I was going to talk about it later, but I'll bring it up super quick. The Academy changed the rules recently to include streaming video-on-demand movies because of the fact that everything has to skip the theaters because the theaters are closed. And my problem is in the stipulation, it says the movie had to have been made specifically to go to theaters, but could not due to this, and ended up on video on demand. And this movie, I feel like, for the action, for the cinematography, for the stuff like that, it should,
the stunt work, the level of thought, dude.
It should be nominated.
Someone, and as he's fighting, he looks over. He's trying to find other things to use, and the camera shows you this weapon on the ground, and then he's fighting, and he's making his way to that weapon. There's just so much thought in the fight scenes that it was beautiful.
I definitely think that rule seems unfair.
I know what I'm doing tonight.
But it seems like an unfair rule because this movie deserves to be nominated, and because it was it's a Netflix original, it's not eligible, and I don't think that's fair because this movie is on par with any of the other action movies that we've seen, especially from the Russos and superhero stuff. It's on par, so that seems unfair. But whatever, we'll see.
And there was no Thor here. He acted really well. He was a straight Marine. Navy SEAL, whatever he was.
He also
used,
slimmed down
was,
too. He's not the like Thor jacked. He was like he had like a different, like the way The Rock talks about, like, when I do this movie I have this kind of build.
Oh no, because then it'd be too cartoonish. This was real.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
This was just a regular guy who's been in the 3 or 4 tours in Afghanistan, and he knows his shit. He's like Black Ops, and he's at the end of his rope. Yeah. He has nothing to lose, and he's almost like he wants to go out in a blaze of glory. Yeah. So imagine that, saving a kid. It's so good. I loved it. And then the other thing I kind of quickly want to tell you guys about is the Waco show, limited series on Netflix. Okay. My goodness. Like, I knew about Waco, Texas, but I think I knew what most people knew in terms of like, oh, they, it's a cult, and they got into a standoff with police, and that's it. Yeah. Right. But it goes deeper than that. It's just about these group of people who live in a commune together. They follow a guy whose name is David Koshek. Shoot, I forget his last name now. Anyway, so this guy had, he reads the Bible. He knows the Bible from beginning to end. Like
David Koresh.
David Koresh. There you go. And he's kind of had a bunch of people who believe in the things he said, and the things he said has kind of come true. And so he's found a way to convince people to follow him, but just to live in a community and like, let's work together towards like living for Christ and, waiting for the end time, the whole spiel. Yeah. He wasn't doing anything wrong per se, because they chose to follow him. Yeah. Right.
And the basis was Christianity, right? It's not like he was telling them, I am God, and I shouldn't sleep with all the virgins.
To a certain extent, he is proclaiming himself to be a prophet, but he wasn't saying he is God. No. Okay.
Is he sleeping with all the virgins, though? Like, is he doing that weird shit?
Yeah, so here's the thing. Here's where, like, he has his own issues, is that part of that is he's an egomaniac as well. So he, any married couple that comes in, the husband has to go celibate. He has to not sleep with them. He's like, the wives are now his.
Oh, okay.
Because there's the whole in the Bible, in order for you to avoid the carnal sins of the flesh, you need to be celibate. But he is taking on the burden of that sin for you.
Oh, yeah. It's so hard living this life.
The children that he has can enter the kingdom of heaven. You know what I mean? So, again, not necessarily doing anything wrong, because they didn't have to follow.
Yeah.
They chose to be where they are. And again, anybody listening right now might feel like I'm like siding with Dave. I'm just trying to show that there is a certain level of like willingness. He never held people against his will, as far as I know, and maybe there's more readings out there that prove otherwise, but based on what I saw and what I looked up afterwards, they weren't held against their will, and they've also always spoken to that effect. Now, the ATF, which is the Arms, Tobacco, and Fireworks or something department, firearms. I forgot what the A stands for then. Tobacco, firearms, ATF. Anyway, so they were previously alcohol, tobacco, firearms department.
Oh, alcohol.
Bureau of. Anyway, they previously messed up a crazy mission before where they went after this guy and killed his wife, and like, so they were like cornered. They were about to be like disbanded as a bureau based on their mistakes in that previous mission. So now they wanted to find something that would bring them back in the good graces. So they, so they literally just picked him at random. These people were living peacefully, not disturbing anyone. The sheriff of that town didn't even carry a sidearm because he had such a good relationship with the people of the town, including them. They were peaceful. They, they sang, they played, they were musicians. They toured, like literally just living. ATF comes in fully like armored up, SWAT, and like, went in and went to kind of like, they thought they can just raid them. But these people, you're in Texas. They have weapons. It's just like they knew they had weapons. They just didn't know that it was going to turn into what it turned into.
Yeah, because it's a multi-day shootout, right?
When they showed up there, David Koresh, huh?
It's a multi-day shootout that they had at Waco.
Dude, 51 days.
Yeah, so I remember.
Yo.
Yeah, I remember.
The emotions and the ups and downs, and the FBI negotiator who comes in after the ATF completely messes this up. Like, so the stories and what we see is based on the book written by that FBI negotiator and one of the survivors of the shootout.
Okay.
David Thibodeau. So you get a good mesh of both sides.
Yeah.
And their stories sync and add up. You can tell that they're really, honestly, this was like watching the Central Park 5 all over again.
Oh, snap.
Okay.
Really?
Like the FBI ATF were in the complete wrong here.
Oh shit.
They just rolled up.
Complete wrong, yeah. And like when they showed up to his door the first time, David Koresh was telling his followers, like, hey, we did nothing wrong. I'm just gonna go out there and talk to them peacefully, like not do anything.
Yeah.
Just take the women and children upstairs. They had guns ready to go, but he's like, don't do anything stupid. I got this. Goes outside unarmed, and he's like, listen, where I'm unarmed, there are women and children in here, blah blah blah. And in the movie they made it look like, because they have these big dogs outside.
Yeah.
And these dogs were barking and were kind of just running in the direction of the ATF guys, because obviously they're strangers on their property.
Yeah, so the dogs
and the ATF's the ATF, one or two of the agents start shooting at the dogs, and then the rest of them just freaking start lacing up the house. And that's how the whole thing started. And
they killed Koresh?
He got shot in that very first shootout, but he survived.
Okay.
He survived the whole thing up until the end when the whole fire and everything went down. But just the ups and downs, how many times they could have gotten them out. They made a deal for surrender. David Koresh only asked for a week to finish writing his manuscript. Yeah. Because that's what he wanted. He just wanted his message out there. He didn't want to be, he was nonviolent. He just wanted his message out there. Yeah. And he said, I want a week. But these FBI negotiators, there's the negotiator who wants peace, and the other two who just want to get in and get out. Yeah. The gong-ho military guys. And those guys really messed things up by, within the fourth day, they go all the way to the president, like the attorney general, and tell her a bunch of lies. The whole time this was going down, they were lying to the press, saying whatever they needed to make themselves look good, made David Koresh look like this evil guy. Then the attorney general finally gave them like an order to go in, and honestly, if they had waited like 3 or 4 days to let him finish his manuscript, he would have been out. They would have been fine. At the end of the day, they killed 76 people, 25 of them children.
Holy shit.
It's such a good series, and I'm recommending anyone watch it too.
Shit. Okay.
You got a lot of good things on Netflix. Those two are it for me right now.
Called Waco?
Waco. Yeah.
I'm watching that. All right.
Skinny, did you
based on a true story.
Yeah. Skinny, did you have a show you want to tell us about?
Did I watch it? Because I feel like I did, but like with days now, everything just kind of like whooshes through, right? So like, okay, I'm gonna go through this quickly. 2 throwbacks, 1 brand new. I watched Tarzan, the animated film from Disney.
Okay.
No way.
Based off the strength that I think it's Frozen. These motherfuckers allude to the fact that Elsa's parents are actually the 2 rich folk who came from Europe, who went to the jungle, crashed over there, and had Tarzan. And essentially, they're saying loosely that Tarzan is related to Elsa and her sister from Frozen.
Yeah, that was the connection that people were making. Did they make that in the movie, or are people just saying that though?
No, well, you see, okay, if you just watch Tarzan, with that, whatever you find from Frozen, whatever they tell you with that whole like backstory, it makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. Okay. So Disney could even go back, and if they really wanted to, just kind of be like Tarzan meets Frozen, and it'd be simple. Anyway, Tarzan, fly ass movie. I remember it based on the commercials from when I watched. I thought it was like him being in the jungle, white people discovering him going back to Europe. My man doesn't even make it back to Europe. Like, it was just a quick little 1 hour. Fine, cool. Aristocats, that movie is shit.
What are you doing watching
Aristocats?
Okay, the Aristocats, because again, Danny's picks.
Danny's picks every week. Yeah, we should make a jingle for that. Danny's picks.
So Danny, her cat used to be named Duchess, which is named after the main character in Aristocats. And I found this movie funny because it's set in like 1910 Paris, France, following Duchess and her 3 cats, her 3 children, Marie, I believe Toulouse, and Berlioz. This nigga is straight up a single mom in 1910 Paris, and nobody makes anything. All right, she's a rich ass cat. She's got a fly ass owner. Some dude named Edgar is trying to get rid of her because he wants that money, and she's just single out here with 3 kittens. She probably ate the rest.
She probably
so cool.
ate
It's
the.
actually really refreshing. They meet up with this O'Malley cat, which is like, the one who's gonna kind of, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but they meet up with this alley cat who, after being taken out of Paris, he brings him back home, and mom getting thirsty right away, right in front of her kids. She starts like throwing out the back, and we start showing homie like her curves and things. She's just like, "Oh, Mr. O'Malley, could you help us get back?" I'm almost like, what message is this sending children? You know what I mean? Like,
well, the kids now even know what that is? I'm just wondering, because even when I watched it back then, whatever you're saying right now went over my head.
I don't know exactly. But if you look at the animation, those dudes are perverts because they knew exactly what's going on. You got an alley cat looking at this. It's essentially like a ghetto dude meeting like the bougie chick, like Redman in How High.
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
I realize what's happening now that I'm in my 30s.
Mm-hmm.
These are guys our age writing stories.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, dude, that's why. Have you seen the meme recently that everyone did for Pixar, where they're saying like, the Pixar animation room, we're just gonna draw every mom with a thick ass, and it's just them because every mom, all of them, they're drawn in such a weird, like their bodies, their bottoms are like upside down hearts, but that are like long. Like they're just drawn
it's not hourglass, because that top half of the hourglass is small.
Yeah, it wouldn't make sense. Yeah. It's crazy.
So yeah, you got to think these animators back then, especially what was this 1940s? This movie was made. These guys were smoking all sorts, drinking all sorts. Yeah, Aristocats is old.
I didn't realize it was that old.
Maybe 1960s. Sorry, or 50s. But yeah, these guys are like 30, 40-year-old men making stories for children. All the analogies are thrown in. It's just when you see them, it's weirder.
Yeah.
And then my new joint. The Last Dance, episode 3 and 4.
Oh yeah,
man, I love Dennis Rodman.
Oh yeah,
bro, like, such a dope series too. I forgot to mention, but yeah,
I watched basketball only for the Bulls for those exact years that they're talking about.
Yeah,
I think
same.
I jumped in around 94, 95.
Yeah,
and then I went on to the end.
Yeah.
And my God, like it brings back all the hate. Like I hate Utah.
Yo, I know, right? You see Karl Malone, I was just like, this motherfucker. I got so mad.
I've seen Karl Malone, and I hadn't seen him in years. And I was like, nah, I can't. But God. Really, really great show. Jordan, yes, he's a dick, but
when you're watching it, you definitely get the vibe of like Jordan was just like, yeah, Jordan's a dick. He was
Jordan's a dick, but he was like,
what is the define dick?
Okay, so I'll define it. I'll define it.
Bring it
When the rest of his team is talking about the fact that when he won the championship, they saw him crying and happy, and the teammates were all saying, "We've never seen any other emotion other than angry and frustrated until that moment." That's a dick. If you're telling me that like on the court, the only emotion this man has towards everybody else, he's never polite, like he respected you as a fellow teammate, but all they ever saw was him frustrated with you, yelling at you, or like that's a dick.
You want to know why?
Yes, he's a competitor. Let's throw out that word, because that's the thing, right? Everyone's just like, George's a competitor. It's okay. They treat people like shit. It's like, no, man.
It's not just that he's a competitor.
Okay.
He has put himself through so much to get to where he is and to get to the level he is, and he knows he's nothing special. And he knows the fact that you're here means you're capable of it as well.
Yes.
But if you're going to play with me, then you have to put in as much work or more than I do.
Yeah.
He respects you once you can show him you can do that. But when you don't, your whole damn career playing with him.
I'm saying so.
Yeah, but I mean,
so then find another team if you want softness.
No, but that's the thing. I'm not saying I want softness, but I am saying that like growing up, when you're a kid and people say respect your elders, don't you ever think, fuck that? Why do I gotta give respect if I'm not receiving respect? I think it's a two-way street. If I'm on the team with Jordan and everyone's telling me respect Jordan because he's the best, okay, well, Jordan, how about you show a little respect, say good morning, be respectful. When we go on the court, at least be like, yo, guys, we're competing today. Let's do this. Cool. Give me the pep talk. But if I mess up once and you know, sick,
well,
like
that's
don't
the thing,
don't
though.
come
You never
at
showed
me.
that against. he never showed that on his teammates during the game. It was always in practice.
Yes,
Before we get to the big dance, that's what we're doing. Like,
Yes,
I am letting you know this practice is gonna go down like this, and I'm okay with that. To the extent though of when he got there's a much later on in the series, by the way, you'll find out that him and Steve Kerr also had their
the fight
the fight on the team, and how that went down and how he ended up gaining Michael's respect.
After he gave him a black eye.
Are you guys seeing it ahead of me?
Hey, what?
It's out? How are you guys seeing the episodes?
No. It's not an episode. It's a story. That's like a story that's been circulating for years.
Yeah.
That Jordan punch. There's even an animation. Someone drew an animation of it. I'll try and find it. Of the whole like scene and like Jordan throwing the punch and
Steve Kerr had enough, and Steve Kerr punched Jordan straight in the chest, and then Jordan punched him right in the face.
Yeah, I gave him a black eye. But you know what? Word on the street is that the season, the whole thing is leaked. You just have to. It's hard. I haven't found it.
Yeah, it's leaked. It's
How many episodes is it supposed to be? Because I've been waiting. I want to binge watch it. 10?
Yeah,
because I'm waiting a while because they're only releasing 2 a week.
Yeah, because I don't want to wait.
But if you want to see the 8 that have leaked, it's available.
Oh yeah, okay, I'll go look that up. Sorry, y'all. I don't want to wait. I want to watch that. No, because like,
but I mean,
I want to. Exactly. I want to support it. You know, I'm down with like, you know, I pay my money. You guys put it up. We're playing this game. But I also the fact that everyone like there's other people out there who can watch the whole thing. It's like that doesn't seem fair. I just want to watch it too. Then why am I waiting? Why am I being respectful and playing the game all fair? If y'all are out there with your full damn season downloaded and laughing at the rest of us fools only getting episode 4.
Listen, I'll give them the view still. I'll leave Netflix playing in the background.
There you go.
When I'm cooking or something.
That's right.
Yeah. What about you, Doc? What you got?
So this one's fast. BET's 20 came out. It's a Lena Waithe series. It's very much. I know a lot of people will probably compare it to Insecure because it's kind of like that. We're out in LA, we're doing our thing, and this is kind of that generic black LA experience that we kind of get a lot of, but it's very interesting. Janika T. Gibbs plays Hattie, who's a LGBTQ woman who's out there. I think one of my favorite scenes is when she is in a like bodega and this dude comes up to her and it's just like, oh, hey, homie, blah, 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 and then sees that it's a girl and it's just like, oh, my bad. And then starts trying to figure out how she identifies. Like, oh, are you non-binary? Are you a he? Are you a they? And she's just like, I ain't messing about that. I'm all good. Like, I don't identify. Like, I'm a woman and I'm gay and I dress this way, where I wear t-shirts and I have a fade, and that's it. It's not really there's no orientation to this. I'm just a person. Right. And this dude, perfect stranger that she has never met, who has incorrectly identified her, is now trying to figure out her identity, and she's just like, what? Like, I'm here buying something, leave me alone. Like, why are we having this conversation?
That's so funny. You know what that reminds me of?
Which show?
You know, when I was younger.
Oh, okay.
And maybe sometimes now, but way less so now than when I was younger. But I'd be walking down the street, you know, go to the bus stop, waiting for the bus, and an old man would be like, what country are you from?
Oh yeah, just a random like.
Are you Jamaican? I'm like, what?
Hello, perfect stranger. Thank you for inquiring on my personal information. Leave me alone, sir. Like,
and then I would say Nigerian, and I'd be like, wait. No, wait, you don't have an accent. What do you mean?
That shit's so annoying.
Crazy, but yes, I identify with her.
Yeah,
story.
so that's the thing. Yeah, Hattie has that scene. You know, the whole story. The main story is that Hattie doesn't have a job. She's looking for a job. She wants to be a writer. She gets put on to like work on a series. Lena Waithe wrote the series, or is the writer or the producer? I think she wrote the series. Yeah, she's a creator. I wonder if it's loosely based on her life, because the whole thing.
This character looks like her.
A little bit, but more just the fact that it's about a person who's a writer, and like it sounds like the type of things Lena Waithe living out west may have gone through.
For sure. I think it's got to be loosely based somehow.
Okay.
It's not really highly rated right now, though, right?
It's show. I feel like anything on BET doesn't get highly rated because people don't necessarily love BET. Like, I feel like BET gets a lot of shade, and if people watch the show, I think they'd actually find it pretty funny. shout outs to Gabrielle
Why'd you
Graham.
pick there?
Say what?
Why'd you pick there though? Like,
BET.
BET is not really.
I don't know if that's. I think if anything, she just wrote the show and then shopped it around, and BET was the one that bought it.
Yeah, I don't think she necessarily cares who picks it up, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because if she doesn't have a exclusivity, then I'm going to whoever's paying me the most.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but if you sell your show and then like they don't do well promoting it, then it gets low ratings, then it gets canceled. You can't resell that idea. It's kind of a waste. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
but I think that's the risk you take too when you're writing and stuff, right? You kind of just put your stuff. I'm sure they have a ton of shows and stuff that get canceled or denied all the time.
Damn, my shit would never come out. My shit would never come out, man. Oh my god. What?
But I want to give a quick shout out to Gabrielle Graham. I just found out when I was talking to Tristan at the beginning of the week that she's Jamaican Montserratian descent, lives out in Toronto, and it got cast on the show and is just killing it. She's fucking amazing in the show and gorgeous. Like I don't usually like just watch a show and think like just daydream, but like I gotta say, Nia as a character is like.
I mean, this sounds exactly like how you sounded when you first saw Misty in Luke Cage. So
oh yeah. Those two. I feel no shame in saying that those two women are easily some of the most beautiful women I've seen on television. And yeah, and then Christina Elmore has been on Insecure, funny enough, as the new love interest to Issa's ex-boyfriend, Lawrence. And she's been doing a great job.
Yeah, I just saw her.
Yeah, she's the third lead. She's like second lead, third lead. It's good. I really like it. I think it's a thumbs up. And I know, like you were saying, I saw that it was 4.6. And I think, once again, I feel like BET gets and honestly, a little deserved so. BET doesn't bring the best quality shows to TV in the past. They haven't. So, but Lena Waithe, at the same time, solid writer and solid creator. So I'm hoping that the show does well because they ended on a cliffhanger. So thumbs up, and I'm hoping for a season 2. And then this show, guys, Gangs of London. My God.
I haven't started yet. I'm afraid to start.
Yo.
Serious, right?
When you start the show with someone lighting somebody on fire hanging from a building, and then they just fall as the rope burns. Like the rope that they're hanging from upside down burns, and they just fall as they're lit on fire into the oblivion of an upside down shot. And you just see the guy standing there like with a bullet in his finger, just rolling it between his fingers, just watching the guy fall. You're like, that's fucked up. That is a fucked up scene.
Is it nothing to do with gangs in New York?
No, not at all. The whole story is about a father, the patriarch of like a gang, like one of those like London gangs that has the two faces. He cleans money. He does construction. They're obviously cleaning money with the construction company, like the usual. Like, oh, we needed 5 trucks and we paid for it in cash, but they only used 2 trucks that day, so all that money is just. And yeah, but he's dead. His son takes over. The son's a hothead. I'm a little. I got past. So I was binging through it, speed binging. And then I got to the last 2 episodes and I stopped because episode 1 through 4, I was like, yeah. Then episode 5, I was like, okay. Then episode 6, I was like, uh-oh. So now I'm like...
writing themselves in a corner type vibes?
Yeah. They did something at the end of episode 4, and it's like a classic trope. And I was really upset with it. I was just like, oh, God damn it. And then they do something in episode 5, and I'm like, what the? You guys are doubling down on this? And then they just kind of throw, it kind of feels like at one point they decided to like revamp the show, and they kind of just go in a whole different direction all of a sudden. And I wasn't mad at it at first, but I was kind of disappointed. I was, because
what drew you to the show was the abstract thing before.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's like one character that's really badass, and at first, like they kept that character badass up until a point, and then it just feels like someone pulled the teeth from a lion, man. Like they just like that character was so cool, and then all of a sudden this character is like not crying or anything, but just declawed, just weak, and I was really unimpressed. And I was just like, okay, I guess we'll just see how this goes. But dude, the guy who the fight choreography on this one is, well, first of all, the creator of it, I think, if I'm not mistaken, is the same guy who did the Raid movies. and he must have used his same team for the fight choreography because that shit is insane, so, dude.
I love when I see good fight choreography,
dude,
man. Just brings me back to my.
There's one.
But is it good or is it just like brutal?
It's both. It's both. There's one fight where he gets to there's like a butcher's knife stuck in the wall at a certain angle, and he like pushes the guy's face right into it so that it just goes. And I'm like, and you're.
There's
actually something similar in Extraction, Dave.
Yeah.
You should go watch it.
Yeah.
Damn you, Tobi.
That kind of violence. I'm cool on all that.
Yeah, dude. I was like watching this and I was just like, good God, man, what the hell? Like what?
Y'all remember the bowling alley scene in Daredevil?
In which one?
In Daredevil, season 1, the bowling alley scene.
Oh yeah,
My
Kingpin.
guy his head with the bowling ball.
Yeah.
That kind of brutality.
Or the car door. What are you saying? The bowling ball. The car door was worse.
Yeah.
Okay, but you see,
God damn.
car door was more of a gradual thing, whereas you didn't think he was gonna actually keep hitting dude's head with the bowling ball till it smashed, and then you would hear the smash. Car door, you're like, oh, you know he's gonna kill his head, like you know it.
Yeah.
I think they actually one happened before the other one, so you're like desensitized.
Yeah.
Actually, yes.
But that's the thing. This
bowling alley happens before car door.
But that's it. Like in Daredevil, that's one character who's insanely violent, and you expect that kind of violence. In this show, it's not that everyone's violent like that. It's just the fight scenes evolve into these insanely violent fight scenes. So,
dope. I'm gonna go check it out.
Yeah. So that's
Dave.
Yeah.
You watched one of my old favorite movies, Ninja Assassin.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna do the same segue because we're talking about fight scenes. This movie, so I finally got. Honestly, it was my first time getting to see it. I was looking for action last night, and as I was saying to Doc earlier, hold on.
Let's rewind for a second.
You hold on. I'm gonna explain your question. I already have the answer to your question, right? I so happened to look on my hard drive of stuff before turning on my going to like Netflix. Had I gone to Netflix first, I would have watched Extraction.
No, that was not what I was gonna say. There's a whole other meaning for looking for action last night that you are overlooking.
I do enjoy that Dave's version of looking for action is him sitting in front of a computer.
I meant like talking about
so innocent.
Scrolling
action or comedy or
scrolling through.
Yeah.
That might have to be. That should be the cover of this episode. Looking for action, and it's just Dave in front of a computer.
I love it.
No, I freaking love it. I cannot have that as a poster.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. Anyway, so you were looking for action, and you found this movie.
Action film. For someone who's living with their girl, like my head's not in the gutter compared to you. I don't understand.
My head's in the gutter all the time.
It's not.
I live in the
but
gutter.
Dave, you can't say his head's in the gutter. You literally said I was looking for action, which means I'm looking for someone to hook up with. That's what it said. That's what it stands for, homie. Don't get mad at him because he said he acknowledged your statement for what it was, and you just mentioned
watching something though. Like, come on. Like, no, context, gentlemen. There's a thing called context.
Oh boy.
He just uses words.
Anyways.
Yeah, he just uses words. It's okay. We get it.
I don't even want to talk about this movie. It was
sorry.
You want to watch? You know what? There's a great documentary about Edge when he, for those who like wrestling, when he broke his neck to when he came back. So it was great. But you know what? Cool.
No, Dave, it's okay. Sorry. I want to hear what you think about Ninja Assassin. I really like that movie, so I want to know what you think.
Listen to you guys and absorb your facts for 45 minutes.
It was just a side note. I didn't mean to derail your whole thing. Go ahead.
I got here late, so it wasn't technically 45 for me.
Anyways, to say it seriously, joking aside, no, Ninja Assassin was good. It was a good action movie. It wasn't a good movie though. It was like not a really deep movie, but it was a really good action film. Good scenes. It was a little too gory. Well, not too gory, but like the action was just gory. It wasn't. The choreograph was cool, but I thought they were going more gory than like sleekness, I guess. But is it worth a watch? Sure.
I still love that movie. I thought the action was impeccable. I thought it was a sweet take on ninjas too, like the shadow creeping.
For me, it was just I don't know. For me, it was like just like they used a little bit too much CGI with like when they're cutting the limbs off and stuff. It was like throwing me off a bit.
Okay.
But then, mind you, like considering we've been watching movies like John Wick and all that now that give that extra detail, and even you were saying like Extraction earlier had a lot of detail in it. It's like to just see like that. I don't know. May have had a higher expectation as well. I do admit that I liked the use of weaponry in the film. That was done
beautiful. The chain
with the knife at the end. Like don't get me wrong. Like there's a lot of beautiful scenes. I'm not discounting that. I'm not saying that, but again, maybe it's just because we've seen things like John Wick and stuff like that. That's
that's the thing. Like, if you saw this when it came out, this would have a different place in your mind than it does now. Yeah, it makes sense for sure.
Because, like, even because this, had I watched this and Matrix at the same time, I would be like, oh, these were both good,
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, like, if you're putting it against John Wick 3, you're like, yeah, but it's John Wick 3. I was saying things like that. Plus, like, movies, like, and it's all movies, like Extraction, Polar, all movies, even like the Avengers movies were getting into that.
Is Ninja Assassin that one where they're like, there's like a fight from one rooftop to the next?
Yeah, they have that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
basically at the end of the day, it's about a secret organization that's a school of ninja assassins that are like a guy brainwashes kids that he somehow abducts to be like, I'm your father and I'm going to teach you the ways of the ninja. And this is like one of these guys that basically ends up rebelling against them and then taking them down because of injustices that he saw. Like he saw through the master's bullshit of how he treated certain people, and he also kills a love interest that he had, or at least there is love. It's either friendship or love. I mean, they tilt it towards love because it's like a guy and a girl, but it could also have been like just a deep connection. But he ends up killing this girl very unjustly, and then he's like, well, that's it. I'm taking down the organization.
This was one of the first movies where Naomi Harris kind of stood out to me. I know she was in 28 Days Later before that, and maybe Pirates of the Caribbean. I think she was in. She was that voodoo lady that he goes to see. But anyway, Anyway, this was a good movie, but I'd recommend it.
It's a thumbs up. If you're looking for like a deep movie, though, it's not that. It's very, very basic.
Yeah.
I also watched for those who like wrestling, there's a wrestler named Edge who's very popular. Actually, I found out that he ended up having the most title wins in WWE, but when he was roughly 36 years old, I think, 36 or 37, he had an injury. He had sustained an injury on his neck. He broke his neck at one point, and the injury resulted in him having an MRI a few years later, and then he was told he couldn't wrestle anymore. And then past year, he actually came back to wrestling. So what the story is just him like doing a doc, and it's mainly just him. It's him, his wife, who's also a wrestler, and like a few
Beth Phoenix, right?
Yeah, Beth Phoenix, Christian Cage or Christian Cage or Jay Russo, I think is his real name.
Yeah.
Jason Resso, maybe Resso.
His real name.
Yeah, his real name. His real name's I know his real name is
Jay Rezzo.
Rezzo, that's it, Rezzo. And they had a few key other people in the documentary. But what was cool is that like it was interesting to see a man go from I got to attain my dreams and it was taken away from me not on my terms, created another life for himself that was a successful life. He was on TV, he was on a show, Haven, and he was on Vikings for several seasons. Mm-hmm. And then for him to like one day, like, because he didn't work towards coming back, just one day randomly because he was doing his own stunts. They're like, you have this history. Why don't you go back for an MRI? And the MRI, the guy's like, don't get me wrong, you don't have the neck of an 18-year-old, but like, it's normal. And he hadn't heard the word normal in regards to his neck for over a decade. Mm-hmm. Which ended up resulting in him coming back, and they show you the story of how he was able to do it in secret and whatnot. Needless to say, it was an interesting story and it was like it somehow dug out emotion. I don't know if it's because I liked Edge as a wrestler when I was a kid, because obviously there's nostalgia to it.
Can I ask a question though?
Huh?
Can I ask one question?
Yeah.
Why did he come back to a bum ass fight then?
Well, no, he came back to the WrestleMania.
Yeah. So a bum ass fight. How you gonna come back? You tell me. There's this documentary about this man's full blow up, glow up, and then that was the fight that I watched. That 45 minutes.
That's not his first fight. The doc goes from when he was off all the way up until literally like the last scene is him at the Royal Rumble when he gets out and he's like, I can't believe I'm like not hurting anymore and I don't know what's gonna go on next, you know?
Okay. Oh, so he was at Royal Rumble before WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. Okay, because if his return was that WrestleMania fight, if that return was that WrestleMania fight, that wasn't it.
No,
that was not it.
It was the Royal Rumble fight, and like it was just a very interesting. It pulled at heartstrings that I didn't think I would see, and like it's just it's an interesting story. It's an inspiring story.
Okay,
and it's like an hour and a half. It's cool.
That's fair.
Interesting. He's getting quite a bit of money too for coming back.
Oh, for sure. He was actually given, in order to keep him secret, WWE went to his. I forget where he lives, but they went to his home and they built him a ring in a style, just to be like, not only do you have one, but no one can tell what you're doing in this place because no one can see inside.
Edge is reportedly being paid $9 million to make 25 televised appearances and perform in 9 matches in 3 years.
God damn. Okay, good for him, man.
He only has 7 matches and 20 appearances left to fulfill that contract.
But maybe that might change due to the fact of like COVID? And stuff.
Yeah, I can see that.
So,
the COVID clause gets everyone.
Yeah.
Plus, didn't Vince wasn't one of the reasons that Vince fucked over Brett because he didn't have the money to pay him? So he just like, hey man, I can't honor this contract. You're gonna have to leave.
Man, Vince had.
I don't remember, but like, it wasn't right.
Yo, Vince don't give a fuck about nobody. Skinny?
He fucked him because he didn't want to put Sean over.
That too, but I mean, the reason he told him was because of the money. He's just like, hey man, I don't got the money to pay you.
Could be that.
So
Vince be firing people.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm wondering. I'm like, hey, you have 20 more appearances and 7 something. Yeah, I don't got no money for you, man. I just lost the XFL. You're gonna have to get the fuck out, homie. You're on the edge of failure. Get out.
He will fire his whole entire mid card before he goes over like Edge and stuff.
True.
Then again, he fired Kurt Angle.
Yeah, but I feel like he didn't care about Kurt.
Yeah, he didn't. Kurt Angle went to like TNA and all the other spots.
Exactly.
Kurt Angle wasn't loyal, whereas like Edge didn't wrestle after. So
these hoes ain't loyal. Yeah, that's. Guys, we got it. We got the usual. Geek News and Rumors.
Yeah.
I'll start off with this one. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, next game in the series.
How are they still making? Is this game really racking up the numbers?
Assassin's Creed still makes money.
Damn.
Yeah, it does. It does, man.
Okay. So now this version is Viking based.
Yeah, which is, I feel like it's a little bit late to the game, the Viking thing. Like, the show Viking is like ending. All the all the Viking shows, like the Netflix Viking show ending. Yeah. It's like, oh, guys, we're coming out with a Viking game. 3 year. Oh, okay. I guess. Do you guys want to buy this? It's about the. Okay.
You want to buy this?
Yeah, that's. Don't get me wrong. I think a lot of the Assassin's Creed fans are going to be really happy to just have a new game in the franchise. But I feel like the whole Viking thing seemed cool to have. It's like if they did vampires 2 years ago, which was 4 years after vampires were cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they had the God of War thing to get over.
A little late to the party.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find out about this game. I'm gonna ask somebody that I know still works there because I don't see how they're gonna do Vikings. Vikings are kind of big, or maybe
Yeah, how are you an assassin, like a stealthy assassin in Viking times?
You're not gonna use a thing fucking Viking
running around with an axe.
Oh, you better. Yeah, that'd be dope.
But are you going up to people and slitting their throat with the axe stealthily? Like, how do you do that?
You're cutting their legs off, but by the knee.
Like they should have gone the Roman Empire route.
Yeah, maybe, but they did that though, didn't they? They did one in Egypt.
They did
Didn't they do one in Egypt?
Templar stuff. I don't know if they did like the 300 style Romans.
Oh, Spartan. Okay.
No. Spartan. Sorry. Yeah, like that.
Spartan,
that era.
So they did Egypt. They did the Spartan right after that. They haven't done ninjas. They need to do.
They did Spartan after.
Yeah,
they've done it. They've done because I remember. Yeah, because the one that my partner plays, it's like in Greece, and there's like a whole like this. They're like going back and forth between Sparta and some other place, and there's like a whole war. And
okay, Odyssey.
Yeah,
right before.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah,
I stopped playing before the pirate one. I don't know which one that is.
Oh yeah, the one with Duale or whatever.
Yeah.
Shout outs to Tristan again. I'm gonna be airing that interview on Friday. Travis Scott. Speaking of gaming news, Travis Scott in-game concert breaks records for Fortnite. I posted a little video of it on the Franklin Armstrong collective in IG. So if you guys want to check it out, you can go to @AStrongFranklin. There's like I think a 4-minute clip down from the 12-minute concert. I gotta say, man, those are some good ass graphics. I might not.
Cool.
The only problem with it, and like Dave was saying the last time we spoke, Dave was just like, "Well, I'd like to know that the person's actually performing, so maybe have a video of them playing somewhere." But instead, it's kind of like because it just sounded like they were playing Spotify and added great graphics to a Spotify playlist. And
he's performing, like you can see he's moving to the sound and he's speaking. And
but I don't know. Was that him? Did they mocap him? Is it just?
It's for sure mocapped.
Yeah.
You think?
Unless they planned that before the outbreak, could they have really done that though?
Yeah, because in 2019 they had a similar concert with Marshmello. The DJ.
But what I'm saying is that like in order for him to motion capture him, he would have had to go and interact with people. So unless they planned this before COVID, are you sure that that's actually because they could have potentially also just recreated him? You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. For sure. I'm sure the cheapest way possible. I'm sure they probably went that route.
But it was fun. I really, really liked it. Like I watched it that next day and I was just like, okay, this is actually pretty cool. Like
I didn't mind it, but like I hope this is not the future.
No. I mean I said that jokingly. I said that jokingly. I really don't think this is the future for concerts. Like we're gonna, once they, in 2 years when people feel comfortable going into crowded venues, we might do and Coachella and all that stuff, but not.
Yeah.
I mean, I say 2 years. In 2 years
the whole point
when
of music festival is the community experience.
Yeah. In 2 years when we adults feel like it will maybe go back, but these youngins will start going back the first chance they get because they're going to be like, I'm on Molly anyways. What do I care about COVID?
Exactly.
I'm on Molly anyway.
That might have to be a title too. What else do we got? Trolls World Tour nearing 100 million in pay video on demand.
Oh my god!
Which is pretty big for a video on demand release, guys.
That's what I was telling you, man.
Yeah.
Before this all started, I said they might as well release stuff on their platforms because they'll get the same amount of money.
Yeah.
When is what's her Black Widow's thing supposed to come out?
Got moved to November.
November.
Yeah. But you can't.
That would be a movie for Disney to experiment with,
dude. Yeah, but you can't do that to her though. She waited this long, and you don't give her a theatrical release. That's disrespectful.
Yeah, man,
it's disrespectful. It would be disrespectful. I agree with you that they should because you would see money hand over fist. You'd have so many people subscribe, but it would be mad disrespectful. It really would.
I don't know. Like, what's disrespectful? Is it the fact?
Black Widow deserves a theatrical release. You're gonna.
But it technically is, though. Right?
Not the same, man.
No, she doesn't.
No.
I don't agree.
I would be mad.
She deserves a.
Wait, why wouldn't she deserve it though?
I think we're looking at this through the lens of like, it's she's waited this long and she finally has a chance to have her own movie and it doesn't get a theatrical release, but people are still going to see it. It's still going to be seen by a ton of people, and they could still have a premiere and do all those things.
Okay, but I'll put it to you this way:
they could release it there and then also like re-release it in the theaters later if they.
I'm not gonna, homie. You can't backpedal like that. You can't put it on video on demand and I'm watching it in my house Yes, there we go, skinny. But and then turn around and be like, oh, by the way, because we couldn't release it in theaters, here it is now. Like she would be the only OG Avenger character to not get a theatrical release, and then get put to streaming, while other characters like the Eternals, Shang-Chi, and all those guys are going to end up on the big screen because they got pushed back further. That's not fair.
Yeah, but then it messes with the timeline. So now, now given the
that's the other news, right? Everything got pushed back.
All these, they got pushed back, but they're within the same time frames now, right?
Yeah,
within like a month of each other, barely. So like in the matter of 6 months, you have like 6 movies coming out.
But her movie takes place in between, right? Because her movie's before Endgame in the timeline.
Do we know that for sure?
Yeah. They said it's before Endgame. It's before Infinity War. Oh, my bad. Yeah. Okay, so you see, it's even that much further back.
So, if there was any movie to experiment with, like I said,
no. See, I hate that you made that fact.
That is
with this fucking logical
to
point.
The timeline.
This motherfucker and his logic. God damn it, that's a good fucking point. I hate you. As soon as you said it, I was like, oh shit, he's making a valid point. I can't argue against that one too much. Yeah,
unfortunately, I don't feel too bad about Black Widow because it took so long for it to come out anyway, and it's like the counter argument to you guys' statement. It's like, because it took so long for it to come out, why push it further back when you have an outlet?
If anything, they should do that with New Mutants.
Yeah, dude. You know what, Tobi? Here you go. If New Mutants didn't get it and is still getting pushed for a theatrical release, fuck off if you're gonna put Black Widow on a fucking streaming site, because that shit is bullshit. I'd be so mad if I was ScarJo that these bunch of dumbass kids over here got to wait 7 years for their big movie release and they put my movie over on the streaming platform. Fine. I'd be vexed.
I forgot about New Mutants.
Yeah, that was your
trump card right there.
That's ace in the hole.
Yeah,
because I would like to say, very fair debate, gentlemen, because you brought some serious facts. The fact that you were just like, hey man, at this point, this is the perfect time. Her movie's inconsequential to what happens that we already know. It's just a drop in the pan. Why not release it? But again, if New Mutants comes along, it's like, fuck yeah, I'd be so pissed.
That's good.
What else did we have? Yes. So Troll World's tour made 100 million, or it's making on par to make 100 million. But here's the problem: AMC plans to no longer screen any Universal movies because of comments made by someone at Universal talking about how, well, we didn't expect to do this well, but we can see the potential in video on demand, paid video on demand, and this might be a new direction we might want to go into. So then AMC was just like, no, you can't do that. You still have an agreement with us that you have to do 90 days before you just drop something on your streaming services. They were saying they wanted to do it simultaneously, right? Yeah, and that's it. And that's the thing I think really pissed people off over at the AMC, because in good faith you should try and negotiate before you do anything like that. Because he spoke out of turn. I think right now AMC has the upper hand. Yes. And Universal was like apologizing. Yes. Yeah. Which might work out for AMC, because AMC is in the hole right now. They pretty much, did they declare the Chapter 11? Oh, I don't know. I didn't see. Oh, so you didn't see that? Maybe it's come up. I didn't see that one yet. But dude, from like a week ago, there was an article saying AMC is in talks to hire at Chapter 11. So they're like really close to bankruptcy due to some financial issues. You know what this is? In this situation, this is just publicity stunt. Then fuck you, AMC. Yeah. I'm so mad now. I'm out here thinking they have actual clout that they can swing dick around, and just like, no, we don't even have underwear. We in these streets naked. We don't even have underwear. Exactly.
Mopping around anyway.
Yo,
that is disrespectful.
They don't have the liquidity to stay afloat until apparently this will last till August, maybe further, and they don't have. You know what? If I was NBC Universal, you know what I would do? I'd buy AMC and just throw my movies in there. I would outright buy you. You're gonna talk here when you have no weight. You are under me in the boxing ring.
You're a class below me, and you're gonna come and step to me, homie. Get out of the ring. That makes me so mad. Thank you for telling me that.
I thought you knew. I thought you knew this.
I really didn't. I didn't know because I would have ragged on them a lot more. Because I thought dude, you're gonna, because it's a big deal if the exhibitors start saying, oh, we're not gonna run your movies anymore, because you need the exhibitors to run the movies so that your movies make profit. But if you're already, you're not even gonna be open by the time they're out making more movies. What do they care?
Right.
Terrible.
So, and I think Universal is worth maybe triple how much AMC is worth right now.
Easy.
So they could definitely buy out the whole. Yeah. I mean, Disney could buy out whole theater chains if they wanted to.
I'm amazed.
I'm not sure.
I'm guessing there's regulations for that, because I'm amazed.
Yeah, I was gonna say exactly. They can just shout out other studios from putting their movies out if that's the case. Because I know definitely regulations against it.
Because the other thing, I forgot to put it on the list. I just realized, but the Academy was, the reason Netflix bought that theater. They have one theater in New York and one out west, I think. And the reason they bought those theaters is so that they could run the movies that they want to submit for nomination at the awards for at least 7 days. So
and have it count.
Yeah, so they meet the criteria. And if Netflix can buy one or two theaters to stream, I mean, I'm sure NBC, Universal, and Disney and all those guys. If anything, Disney probably already owns somebody through a subsidiary somehow, somewhere.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
So
yeah, but yeah, man, yeah. So I was like, oh, maybe they can file for bankruptcy, but they're necessarily not out of business.
Yeah.
But I just don't know what this sounds more like we're annoyed and we're angry because of what we're going through. So we're gonna tell you once this is over, we're not playing your movies. But like, are you gonna be around when this is
exactly? No, legit. I'm laughing at them. I'm laughing at them. That is some crazy foolishness. When you need people to be at your back the most, you're gonna start. Anyways, whatever. Guys, that's all the news I had. If you guys have anything else you want to tell people about, shoot it. Let us know.
Nah, that's it.
That was a fun one, boys.
We covered a lot today.
Yeah, shit, man, almost 2 hours. Okay, we're gonna shut it down, kids. That's the whole show. Anything you guys want to tell the people?
Keep protesting so we can end this as soon as possible. No, I'm kidding. I have no
idea. Stay safe is what I was gonna say. Whatever you were gonna say.
I was like, what? Keep protesting. I was like, Tobi,
we're not going back to the States for a long time, so that's not a good idea.
Yo, keep that border closed, man. I've never in my life thought I'd want to say build a wall, but shit, man. Yo, we're
building that wall.
Yo, we're in a COVID situation, and the United States. Yo, you know what though? I'm not even blaming the United States. We know whose decision it was, who's made poor decisions. I'm not blaming the people in the United States for either A, being misinformed, and B, not having much say in the situation. They don't get much say in this situation, but I think the detriment of the health system that they have and that they're being put through is due to a lot of factors that I probably don't know about as a Canadian, but I know that it's not fair to them. But at the same time, sorry guys, I don't see how it's safer for you to just come to Canada and start hanging out here, because like it wouldn't help us, it wouldn't help you. It's just going to keep spreading. So if anything,
they better keep our borders closed. They've solved their issues.
Say what, Skinny?
What's that song? Shut them down.
Yeah, man. I'm not trying, and I'm not trying to be mean to Americans. I'm not saying it's not that we don't care about you guys. I have family in the States. I would love for this situation to be taken better care of. I wish all my family the safest of situations, but at the same time, I can't ask for them to open back the Canadian border so that people can just start traveling back and forth when we know for a fact they are not on the same level as us with regards to testing. And their numbers are spreading.
Yeah,
like dude.
I mean, Georgia reopened and their cases ballooned within a week.
Yo, and the other thing was the cases in the States started to level off at one point, and everyone's just like, oh, and then they realized, oh, it's because you stopped testing as many people.
Yeah.
What the fuck? That's not how that works, guys. Anyways. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, man. I don't want to get too political. Anyways, I used to say it, and I'll say it again. Don't drink and drive. Always wear your gym cap. Safe sex is good sex, especially during this quarantine time. If you're being stupid enough to just go out in these streets. Also, supposedly you can't get the Rona if you don't make out with the person during sex, but you know what, just don't try. Don't test that theory. I was reading something and they were explaining that, and I was just like, don't test that theory. Like the fact that they're telling people this, when they told people that, and I was just like, don't tell people that, because they will try to test the theory.
They'll do that. Yeah, they'll do that.
Please, people, don't test the theory. If someone might potentially have the vid, just avoid them. Avoid the vid. There you go. That's my sign off.
Avoid the vid.
Avoid
the vid. Avoid the void.
Is that the title? Avoid the vid?
I like that.
All right, y'all. We're out. Peace.
I kind of like looking for action tonight.
Yeah, that's it. Write that in the group chat so I don't forget.
I like that one.
All right. Peace, everybody.
All right, boys.
Have a great one.
Have a good one.